Thanks for coming in, Zach.
Well, thanks for having
Appreciate
me
it.
on.
Yeah, yeah. So go. Let's go a little history here. So what were you doing before getting into real estate?
I was in the construction. I started out, I was a painter. I painted houses. One of my buddies was in real estate and says you should try it out. So I said, what the heck? And
Took
yeah,
a chance.
took a chance. And that was back in 2000. I got my license in 2001. Moved here to the Valley and been here ever since.
So you've been in it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where'd you move from?
Bullhead City.
Okay.
Yeah, a little small town in Arizona.
Yeah. Now, did you move because of the opportunity? More action here doing real estate, or?
Yeah, and I went to real estate school here, and I just knew it'd probably be a better area to pursue a new career. So, but it was tough moving out here not knowing anybody.
I was gonna say, how did you even start? Brand new in the business, brand new to the market, no sphere to speak of locally.
It was hard back then. I mean, basically, I started out at Century 21. You got to sit, what do they call
Is that floor time?
Floor time, where you might get I think I got my first deal off like a phone call.
So it works.
Yeah. We didn't have the whole social media thing. I mean, it really is so much easier these days.
How else did you do it? I mean, so you're sitting there on floor time, getting some inbound calls. What else did you do to generate business?
Open houses. I spent a lot of time in my vehicle driving around and looking uh, for sale by owners and
Really?
knocking on their door or just bugging them.
I like that.
And then what really set me apart was I saw one guy that I noticed he did bank foreclosures. So I kind of got in with him and he started talking to me a little bit and I did an open house for him and then I just started just like calling these banks nonstop. And I finally got my first one. The lady's like, I'm going to give you a listing, Zach, so you quit calling me.
I like that.
And I got in the first round of foreclosures in like 2003. Then it died off. And then in 2007, when they hit hard, I was in the top 1% of the agents here. I was doing over 100 deals a year.
Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
that
Is
was
that an REO account?
yeah, that was strictly REOs. I mean, you could wake up one morning. I remember Monday mornings I'd wake up and sometimes I'd have 10 new listings that I'd have to go out and go check. Just like it was crazy. It was crazy time. It was fun, but
Well, you
yeah.
look at like all the work that went into doing that, right?
Oh,
Like all the calls and the driving
you
around.
weren't even an agent. I clocked my car every day. I did 300 plus miles a daily, and cause I had to check on everything. I had to see if they're vacant, break into them, or have them broke into. Uh, I learned to break into houses myself, so to
It's a new
save
trade.
to save time. Because then I was like, well, let me see. I can call a locksmith, come back later, or I can learn how to break into a house, change the locks myself, and get all my pictures and move on. So I can take something that would take me 2 days to do. And the banks are like, man, you really get our reports back super fast. It was because I was picking up a day. So yeah,
How intuitive.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. Okay, so now that obviously ended, right? So
right.
so that came to an end. Did you pivot and time it right, or did it all of a sudden you woke up that Monday and you're like, how come there's zero?
Yeah. And yeah, I learned the hard way. I didn't
Yeah.
stay in touch with anybody. Uh, just basically had to start all over.
Mm.
So yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I sold probably 1,000 REO homes, and then like you get so dependent on that,
Yeah.
and you don't even know how to do regular real estate, and and you're back to square one and rebuilding yourself all over again.
Well, but that was a decade after being in the business, so you've learned so much more.
Right.
What did the restart look like for that second round? Because now
Oh,
you've at least been here for 10 years.
right,
You're done thousands of homes, so
right.
more experience. But what changed? What did you do differently, or where did you market yourself differently,
I
or did you
just
just do the
started
same
like
thing?
working with people that I knew and stuff like that, word of mouth, and then it's even gotten really tough over the last couple of years because so many people are in the business. So I was with the same brokerage for a lot of years, and then that's when I came over to Real, joined the Living Arizona team because I basically just wanted to learn some new skills and from some of these younger guys and stuff. So
How'd you run across them?
I met Alex at a speaking thing like for real estate. We just got talking a little bit, and he posted someone. He's looking for some agents, so I sat down with him. So I think my biggest thing this year, I've kind of, instead of, like, even though I've been in the business for 23 years, I've kind of taught myself to, or just told myself I'm going to become a student. So now this last year, I'm like becoming a student, learning new ways, new marketing ways, jumping real big into video, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even back in the day, you found the guy that did the bank-owned
Right,
properties, right? And
right,
kind of mentored from him. And
right,
then now again here. So
right.
that's great. Let's talk about the social because you and I run with the same company doing with Be Real and
Right.
Brandon. He's ridiculous. Um, how did you actually like take the step and say, "Hey, I want to get into that"?
Uh, he, a girl in my office, or that was on our team, she said, you should go try mine. It makes it really easy. And then I took actually, it was one of your classes on the AI thing, and he sponsored it. And he's like, hey, since you did it, I'll knock $50 off. So I was like, oh, great time. I heard about him. So I jumped in there, and, he already had the scripts and stuff like that. So he made it super easy because, like most people, afraid of talking on camera. You start stuttering. I mean, actually, I still stutter on them, but but I think everybody does.
Yep.
And just made it kind of easy. And then, so the first couple times I rolled with his scripts, and then I just started. I got tired of like I would see other like realtors. I'm like, we're going to the same place, doing the same scripts. So then I just started writing my own stuff. So
Did you find that that creativity came easier now because you had gotten so many of the scripts before?
uh, yes and no. I try to like a lot of my scripts come from maybe questions that like people have, like common questions. Like a lot of people say like, oh, I don't know the content come up to. I'm like, well, what are your clients asking you?
Hmm.
That's your content.
Do you store that somewhere? Like, do you keep track of that in your phone or?
When I think about it, I'll just like put a note down and
Hmm.
stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it comes very, as you spend a lot of time writing content.
Yeah, and I do the same like you. I write down the stuff that I hear, and maybe I saw someone's post,
Right,
or I saw an article, or a client asked me a question. I'm like, well,
right,
that's a good one. I've heard that twice this week.
right,
And so I will write that down in the notes on my phone. And then later on, when I come in here to our studio with Anthony, I'm like, hey, here's something I want to talk about.
right.
And we'll just come through with, the verbiage and the hooks and the call to actions and whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell people, don't be afraid to copy other people's stuff. No one's coming up with their own, stuff. So everyone's copying someone. Just take someone's idea and change it for yourself and make it your own style. And, that's a good way to come up with content, especially at first. I mean, I've copied a lot of people's stuff.
Same. And what I like what you said there was your own style. We
Yeah,
talked earlier
yeah,
about that too, of having your own, just succumbing to your own,
right,
however you
right.
walk, talk, enunciate, like don't try to copy someone else's, be yourself.
Yeah, that's the hardest time sometimes because you'll see someone that's like very successful, or they look very successful, or their videos are very good. So you're like, oh, I'm gonna do exactly him, try to be like him, which you can do a little bit, but then you start realizing, man, this is more difficult, and it's really just not me. And I think you're judging yourself worse than what other people are judging you. So when people actually they're like, man, I really like that one. I'm like, really? Because that was just kind of just me.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's fast forward to today, right? We're in an interesting environment. What are you doing to generate leads right now? We just talked about social, um, and we can go deeper into that. What other avenues are you?
Going back to a lot of basics, open houses, uh, you know, learning how to throw a proper open house, learn how to talk to people. You know,
What's a proper open house look like?
oh, well, signage, and then learn how to talk to people and stuff. Not just like, oh, hey, can you please just sign in, and are you working with a realtor and whatever. Like, you just got to learn how to like ask the right questions.
What's some of the questions you ask to make people feel a little more comfortable and open up to you?
Well, I kind of start off like, well, like, what brought you in? Was it the signs? Because if it's the signs, you're just driving by. But if they tell you like, no, I saw you online. Well, if they say I saw you on Zillow online, they're actively looking.
Hmm.
So you know how to kind of approach them. You
That's a
know,
good one.
yeah,
Yeah. Someone once told me they ask, which house in the neighborhood do you own?
That's
And
that.
they go, oh, that one.
Yeah,
Or they go, oh, no, I don't know the neighborhood. We're looking to be in here. And you're like, oh, what brings you to this neighborhood? Or,
right,
what about the neighborhood you really like?
right,
And that's the same as if they said, well, hey, what brought you to this neighborhood to live here?
right.
Right. And they're like,
Yeah, I
oh, we've
think
lived
most
here for,
agents they try to make it more about themselves or like how great they are or whatever. It's instead of like truly asking their clients what they need or what they want and kind of. So I do that too, you know. So I like, kind of like, you know, like what are you looking for, you know?
yeah. Let's talk about you have people, you put out the signs, you get people in the house, you're talking to them, you build rapport. You've gotten some information from them. What's your follow-up plan after that? I know it's different for how maybe the conversation went, but is it, hey, I'm calling them, texting them, videoing them? Am I inviting them to my social channel? Do you wait until Monday if you held it on a
Right.
Saturday? Like, what's some of your follow-up strategies?
I typically afterwards will do send a follow-up video, like, hey, it was very nice meeting you today. I'll send them. I'll be like, hey, I got a form if you could fill out. It's all about you form. You know, you have one. Send that to them. You know, kind of also shows them that you maybe have a little bit of systems. So as you know, systems are very important in this business.
I like that. Now, is that the same day, and do you shoot the video from that house that they saw you in?
Lately I've just been doing it in my car, just sitting in my
Really?
car as I'm like getting ready to leave, or as I'm pulling into my house, just like, okay, before I go in and get finished for the day, just sit in my car and send out, you know, ever how many videos they were real quick.
All personal.
All personal.
Hey, Jack and Joanne,
Yeah,
thanks for coming in.
yeah,
That's awesome. I
yeah,
love that. Hey, can you fill out the form?
yeah.
That's great. Okay, so now let's say you don't get a reply. When's the next follow up?
Um, Probably next that like that week. If you can get it like a true number, just be like, hey, you know, I'm just, you know, like I never say I'm just following up. That's like, you know,
What do you say?
I just say I'm just checking in to see if like if there's any way I can help you out.
Cool.
You know,
Looking to add value.
are you still possibly looking to purchase or sell your house this year? I'd love to assist you in any way you can that I can. And, you know, I'm not a super pushy salesperson. I never have been. So I try to give them a little bit of value.
Let them know that you're there for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, other than open houses.
Uh, Mailers,
Oh,
mail.
is this mailing to your database or to a
No, so
farm?
I do a lot of expireds. I do a lot of expires. I've gotten, I get about, on average, probably one or two phone calls for every 75 to 50 mailers.
Wow,
So,
that's pretty
uh,
good.
yeah.
Is that the one you'd said you were doing some, I don't say fancy, but a very strategic letter that was going out for the expireds, right? Circling stuff.
Yeah,
And
so we
do you
do
still
that.
do that?
I do that one. Then we have a letter, and then so also one of the videos or one of the uh, properties that I got from expired. You know, I did a follow up video with the client, and I interviewed him.
Really?
Yeah, so I have an interview on there. So I sent on the letter with a little QR code that goes to my YouTube channel, or
Nice.
YouTube, or I also have like a landing page too.
Okay.
So they can click on that and see a testimonial of
So
me.
my house expires, and I get a letter in the mail from you. It's
Hmm.
got a letter and some stuff, and then it has a QR code. I scan that with my phone, and it takes me to a video testimonial of a
Yep.
previous seller.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
And do you find that, no, were you doing that the whole time, or did you add that in later?
I added that in later, so I kind of needed to get the first one done, you know, so you have something,
True,
you
true.
know.
Did you get a higher response when you started adding the QR code with the video?
Mm, it's too soon to tell.
Okay,
Yeah, I just started that probably about a month ago or so.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
As
well,
anything, it doesn't take. It's not an overnight thing. So you
true.
know, as you know, a lot of the stuff can take 6 months, year. So you just got to be patient.
Hmm. What's the follow up when, and I should say the frequency on that? So I've sent out my letter. It's got the QR code. I know it's landed, and it's March.
Right.
When's the next letter go out to those people, or is
Probably.
that the next step?
Yeah. So the next step is like after that is probably like get a phone, like try to get a phone list, and then call them up, go, hey, I sent you a letter. Did you get it?
Oh,
What do you
cool.
think?
Is that
So
just like a week later because you give it time for
uh,
the mail to hit, and then
probably
you're
about
just
a month or
calling?
so later.
Okay.
I could probably step it up to a week. I probably need to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just yeah. Okay. Cool. What is it after that though? So I make the call, no answer, leave a nice voicemail.
Um, probably send another. Yeah, I mean, send another letter out. You try to hit them like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I always think I look at it like that's still farming, right?
Right.
It's a cool, but it's a specific lead for, hey, your place is expired. I saw
Right.
this, this, and this, and love to, give you a complimentary consultation, whatever you say. I love the video testimonial, and then I'm following up with a call if I get their phone number, skip trace of some sort, um, and then maybe I'm even going to their door
Yeah.
sometime. Do you ever do that?
I haven't yet, so that's probably a good idea. So it's just that's a lot
And I
of.
don't know, maybe that's the fifth or sixth or seventh touch. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's almost like you're creating your own playbook right
Right.
now for this thing. But I mean, even the conversion of putting the letters out to get one or two off of 50 or 75, that's a
Right.
really good number.
Yeah, it
And when you
is.
can have a predictable number like that, you're just sitting there going, okay, how much does it cost me to send the 75? How much time and effort? Cool. How many appointments did I go on? How many calls did I have to make? And I know I'm guaranteed, these two deals.
Right.
That's how much in commission. Like, just keep going.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean it's especially for people who don't like cold calling. So I'm
Hmm.
not like a huge cold caller. So
Yeah. Okay, so we got social, we got open houses, we got the expireds. Any other sources of business?
I stay in touch with a lot of my past clients. So I
What's that playbook look like? That's my
uh
favorite.
I I send everyone a text message pretty much one one every couple months. No, I
Okay.
try not to blow them up. Just reach out, say hi. So I don't make it real salesy.
I mean, how many do you have in there? Because I know you didn't have track of the
Right.
thousands of
I
before, but
actually
how
kind
many?
of treat. So most of them are kind of like they're kind of friends. So I just treat everyone the same. So I just I go through my phone and just send pretty much. I do like the 5 by 5. Send 5 people like a text message a day.
Okay.
So
But how many do you have in there total,
in my
roughly?
in my phone, probably 600 or 700 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes you,
Yeah.
a good, what's that, 100, 125 days to
Yeah.
get through, right? The
Yeah.
five a day,
And I could
right?
do more if I wanted to. So
Well, like you said, I don't want to annoy them, but I want to stay top of
right.
mind with some value,
Right.
right? So I like the text messages because those are much higher open rates than emails.
Right.
But do you have them in any sort of like, obviously we've heard of like HomeBot or a regular CRM of some sort.
Yep.
Are you emailing them too?
Yes, I have HomeBot as well. So
Okay,
so they do see the reports there. So
cool. Do you ever upload a market update into HomeBot to have the video go out with the digest?
I don't. So
Did you know it has that feature?
I've heard of it, but I really haven't dove into it.
It's
So
it's in there. So especially because you do so many videos, it's super simple to shoot anything you want. But and you could put a testimonial in there. But you could shoot a market update video. Maybe you watch a Tina Tambor one day. You take a couple notes. You
okay.
record a nice video. You upload that to your YouTube channel. But then you take that and you can do it off YouTube or a bomb. But YouTube's free.
Right.
And you can take that code and you plug it. You literally paste it into HomeBot and
Okay.
it populates it. And then you hit send. And then the next time the digest goes out, it has your video in there.
Oh, well, see, I'm learning something.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty cool. There's actually a whole video section in HomeBot that if they click on one of the buttons, like the Airbnb button,
Hmm.
it will come up with your video that talks about Airbnbs.
Right.
Or if they said, an emergency fund, or what's my market doing in my neighborhood. They click on any of the buttons in HomeBot rather than just take them to the screen and maybe send you a little email.
Right.
It pops up with your video.
Okay.
So you could shoot, and I've been through this with Anthony. I think there's about 15-ish videos in there that you don't have to do them all at once, but you can just pick the ones you want. They even have little, not scripts, but the form of what you should mention in there so it goes with the button.
Oh, okay.
And then you just shoot the videos and then you embed them in there and then they're in there forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something additional in
Yeah,
HomeBot that's a pretty cool
I'm gonna-
feature. But being that you're already into videos, that's a great way to just repurpose some of the stuff
Right.
you're already doing. So you should a little market it. It's working really well. Do you do much on LinkedIn?
I don't, but I've taken a couple classes on that. I think I'm going to start incorporating because I haven't used my LinkedIn in 12, 13 years. I got it
You
years
go in
ago.
there, the network button says like 300 people want to,
Right.
engage with you. Well, I mean, it's known for being the more professional of the
Right.
sites, right? Well, I mean, if they're professional, they're probably making good money. Or they're people looking to make good money. So they're looking for
Right.
moves in their companies, executives, CEOs, things like that. So it's a great place as a realtor to pick up connections. I don't look at it as like business, but
Right.
really connections. But my buddy has been posting market updates on Saturday and Monday.
Okay.
And he's consistently going through and getting a lot of, um, I should say, a much better open rate and contact rate through LinkedIn,
Right.
just doing that one thing alone. So if you shot your own market update and then you throw it up into HomeBot, maybe it's once a month, and you throw it in there and then you repurpose it. It's now on your YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you take the YouTube link, put it in an email, send it out through your CRM too. So now they're
Right.
getting an email through your CRM and they're getting that email through HomeBot at some point in time, right? It's different
Right.
times. They're probably not going to see both. They're going
Right.
to click on one of them. Now, maybe someone sees both, like, oh, I saw that already. And they just don't watch anymore. It's not, they're not going to complain to you like, hey, man, you sent that to me twice, right? But it's another place. Then maybe they see you on LinkedIn. Like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, look, the same market update. Great. Or maybe they see it and go, ah, that's really good. And then they share it.
Right.
And now it goes out to their sphere. But it was still the one video that then just went to multiple places.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much you can do with social media. There's so many. So,
What's some of the other tactics you're using? Because I've seen some of those, I want to say lifestyle videos, but where it's more like area centric. Like, what got you to do those?
I'm
And
just
maybe
trying.
describe them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just doing like area stuff for like, like I just did one in Scottsdale. The reason I chose to do downtown Scottsdale is because I have a couple listings coming up. So I'm going to do home tour listings, but instead of just doing your plain, oh, look at this house, I'm going to do that and then have them cut in some of that video too as well. So not only are you getting the house, you're also going to get like what's around it as well.
Yeah.
So,
And what's some of the content though that you did for Old Town?
so we did the Fashion Square. We did the Caesar Republic, which that place is really cool.
I haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's the first resort by Caesars that is non-gaming. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. And then I did Old Town.
Cool.
So
And this was all drone,
yeah, I was
gimbal,
yeah,
hybrid.
yep, yep, yeah. We do a lot of not a whole lot of me speaking on cameras, but you do a little bit of that, but a lot of it is just kind of showing the area too. So you do a lot of like speakovers and stuff.
Hmm. So that'd be great when you go on a listing presentation too,
Yeah,
where you're highlighting the area and
yeah,
saying, hey, this is what kind of sets me apart,
right.
right? What other areas have you done?
Um, I've done my neighborhood which is Morrison Ranch in Gilbert. So I've done that one. I've also done Los Sendas. Los Sendas is a great one too. It's up there by Salt River and stuff. So I rode in on a mountain bike because I'm in the mountain biking. That's a mountain bike area. There's a lot of mountain bike trails out there. So just trying to sell the lifestyle. Because a lot of people are looking for like not just to house it, but like what's around there. Like is there hiking? Is there golf? Is there like up there? It's you got the Salt River. You can paddleboard. You got some of the best mountain bike trails on the West Coast,
Hmm.
and then you got their own golf, and they got a restaurant up there and stuff like that. So
But I like the videos are very experiential. Right? Like
right,
people, it's an experience for people when they're watching it.
and they watch it too, because I can't tell you how many people it's like, because you start self doubting yourself, and people are like, you're like, oh, is it really worth it or whatever, or you're spending all this money on it, or it's like, and then you hear people, it's like, oh, I really love your videos. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, I watch all of them. I was like, can you please hit the like button? Or hit a share
Can
button?
you
Come
share?
on, help me out.
Like, follow, share, please.
Yeah. So,
So with that though, where are you putting that? I know we just talked about using it as material specific for maybe a listing appointment. Are you sharing that on I saw it on social, but which social platforms are you putting that out on?
so I do my Facebook, of course. I do Facebook, Instagram, and then my YouTube channel. I'm starting to try to build that out.
Okay.
But then I also share it on Google, my Google page. So,
Nice. Google My Business?
yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. I guess we just add in LinkedIn and you might be all well rounded.
Yeah, you don't realize, I mean, the two largest search engines is Google and YouTube, and they're both owned by the same company. So, uh, as we all know, most buyers these days or sellers, they start online. So if you don't have an online presence, you better either get one or you're hurting.
Yeah. And well, we talked to earlier, you have a brand. It's just
Right,
what is your brand saying about you?
right,
Right. It's very
yeah,
similar to what you just said. Yeah.
yeah,
And look, at some point in time, you've done thousands of sales. It's not about the sales, it's about the marketing to get the sales.
right,
So we say marketing is senior to selling.
right. And people work with us not because I'm in real estate, because they like me and they feel safe with me or feel like I'm honest. So, and that's what
Well,
they
and they
want.
also feel, and I don't know, I would think that people do business with people that they also trust as being some sort of an expert in their field,
Right. Right.
right? So the fact that you're doing those videos and out doing the hustle and doing the listing appointments and the consults, like and thousands of sales, like wow, this guy's been in it for a long time. Like, is that 22 years?
23. I
23
just hit
years.
23
So
last
in
in
23
January.
years, like that's that's an amazing run, right? So
Yeah.
it's the surgeon that just came out of school
Right.
that I'm going to be the second person they ever work on, or the one that's been doing it for 24 years and has done thousands of sales. Like, wow, this guy's going to negotiate me a good deal.
Right. I mean, it is. I do feel for some of these younger agents, but it is tough. It is tough to, especially some of these super young ones. I mean, I wouldn't want to let a super young person sell my or sell my largest asset. You know.
Well, speak to that because like I agree, and that's why I say, hey, get on a team
Yeah.
because I'd rather, if I even for me, if I was 1 year in the business just getting in, I wouldn't even want to go on the listing appointment. I'd want to go on your listing appointment,
Right.
right, and get some credit going, and have you go on my listing appointment. Hey, man, I
Right.
got this guy that wants to sell his house. He's trying to throw me a bone because he's a good friend of mine or a previous coworker of mine. But man, I don't. I also don't want to let someone down and do them a disservice. So
Right.
hey, can you come with me with your 23 years of experience and help me here? And I'll just take a small little piece.
I, and that's so true because you are always. This is an always learning business. I mean, every time I think I've experienced everything that can go wrong, something else comes up. I'm like, I've never experienced this one, but it's always something.
Yeah,
So
but you have a lot of experience of things that have happened in the
yeah,
past where you
yeah,
know how to
and a lot of
navigate
them
it,
I've learned the hard way.
and there's some new ones coming.
I've learned a couple that have cost me some money.
And the last thing I want to do, or you and I ever want to do, is cost a client money,
Absolutely,
right? And that
absolutely.
experience can go the wrong way,
Yeah,
especially like we've seen with social media,
yeah.
right? You want people to go out, and I've seen some of your testimonials and they're like, man, it was great working with Zach. And, those are what I want. But the
Right.
negative ones can come
Oh
just as
yeah,
hard and harder.
yeah. I mean, especially with social media. I mean, you get someone out there that truly wants to make a bad, let's do some damage.
They
Yeah, I
can
mean
do it.
they can do it. So,
Yeah, it's experience. So where do you see your business over the next like 5 years?
good question. Um, I'm hoping to have my brand out, a lot more where, or I don't have to maybe market myself as much, so like, like a lot of referrals and stuff like that. And I think in 5 years I'll probably hopefully have my own team.
What would that look like?
Uh, just like to have a select few people because I do like mentoring and helping, some of these younger people. So,
Give back because you've been mentored
right,
so much.
right.
Yeah, that's a
So,
cool. Yeah,
yeah, because there's also a lot of crappy agents out there that teach a lot of bad stuff as well too. So,
so you can kind of clean it up.
yeah,
Yeah, good. Have your own platform.
absolutely.
So when you talk about getting your brand out more to where there's more, you know, I guess more recognized
Hmm.
and you have more business coming in that way,
Right.
what would that look like?
Just through like good service and stuff like that. Good service, great systems. Because you want people to like when they think of real estate or like getting a loan with you, like Greg was so awesome to work with. It was super smooth. It was not that stressful. You really got to give this guy a shout. And that's kind of what you want. People want because it is one of the most stressful times of your life is when you buy a house, and our job is to alleviate that. So you really want that's really what you want to do. You don't want to make it more stressful. So, and I
Yeah.
think the less stressful you make it, the more people will refer you.
But how I look at it, because I agree with that, is once you have them have that feeling,
Hmm.
how do you then get that to be promoted?
Right.
Right. So I love how you have the seller testimonial video.
Right.
It's how do you then like that's part of your brand, right?
Hmm.
But how do you then get that out more and put systems in place that you are top of mind to all of those people
Right.
that you've already served and helped and created that experience, and then say top of mind for all the new people, like you said, that have
Right.
just gone onto Google. They're just doing their research before they pick up the phone, before they even call their friend or family member or parent and say, "Hey, who did you use?" or look at a sign. They're literally going online first and
Right.
searching golf course community
Right.
Arizona, golf course community this zip code, and that's where they're starting.
Right.
So how do you get our stuff to come up first, right? So I guess what I'm saying is there any different strategies that you might use over the coming year or that you've already thought of?
No, I mean, I just like, I think it's really important, if you have a good rapport with your clients, if you ask them like, hey, can you leave me a review on Google? That helps. People can see, this guy's not just telling us how good he is. He's got other people putting a lot of informational content out there. You know, uh, yeah. I mean, don't keep everything a secret. It's kind of be like educational out there. So
Don't be a secret agent.
yeah, don't be a secret agent.
Yeah.
Like, put it out there. People want to be taught. So
It's
and that's the other thing I tell people too. Like, not only am I going to make your home buying experience a little bit easier, I'm going to teach you some stuff. I'm going to teach you the process. Because one of the biggest complaints I hear is most people say is, I had no idea what the next step was. I strive myself so my clients always kind of know what the next step is. And I do that through videos. I'll send videos, hey, hey, like our offer just got accepted. This is our next step.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. How many of those roughly do you have in your arsenal?
I pretty much have the whole entire, like from start to finish. I'm going to redo them now because a lot of them I did on, like in the beginning on my own.
Hmm.
But now I'm going to do ones that are a little more, you know, better production.
If you ever want to come in here and do it, we're happy to help you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But and how many is that? That like when you're going through the process and you're taking someone from A to Z, roughly how many do you have right now in the library for that entire process?
Probably about 7 or 8. So you kind of go through like the whole contract and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I go through the process. I break down the contract. I talk about the inspection period, and then once the inspection period is, and then the bins are where you ask for repairs and stuff like that. We talk about contingencies, dates, stuff like that, and then close of escrow. And
I like that a lot. I
yeah,
mean, it's the I had someone describe it once. Like, look, you've seen the apps like Domino's or DoorDash, and people order their food, but then they watch it.
right,
Your order's been accepted.
right,
Your thing's in the oven. Like
right,
it's out. We're waiting on your driver. It's out for delivery. They're 5 minutes away. Like people like that knowing exactly where they are in the process and what's next. They look at the little bubble and it
right,
says what's next is waiting for the driver to come. And then after the driver comes, it's out for delivery. And after it's out for delivery, it's delivered. And they just want to see the certainty of
right.
the process, right? So you've done that through leveraging the technology of video for
Absolutely.
your own process.
Yeah, people don't realize like we take for granted that we know it because we've done it for so many years. That majority of the people, they have no idea what. Most people are like, I don't even know how to get started on buying a house. Like, what's my first step? You know,
Yeah, and that you're going to take them through the whole path with
right.
certainty.
And a lot of
And
people, they have a hard time feeling like, I don't want to ask you. I feel like I'm stupid that I should know this. And I always tell people, well, never, there's no dumb questions. But you can kind of alleviate that. I mean, you can say, hey, I got some videos, go watch them. They kind of give them, answer their questions a little bit so they don't feel like they're dumb. As they
do you
say.
send them to your like a playlist in YouTube, or do you send them an email with a link to all of them? How do you
Yeah, I send
propose
them a
that?
link, like a YouTube link.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then it has the library of the 7 or 8
Yep.
steps that they
Yep.
can always reference.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, I didn't think of that. Huh.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we redo all of those. What happens post closing? So client finished their sale last month with you. What's some of the things you do after the close?
Well, I mean, I typically give people like a housewarming gift.
Hmm.
Then I just stay in touch. Birthdays, anniversaries. Just random text messages. Just stay in touch. Because I tell people at the end of the day, I wasn't just your realtor. I'm hoping that I'm your friend. So, and most of my clients have become friends. So,
That's something we commonly hear, and I really like that.
yeah,
That's relationship based.
yeah. So,
Cool. Well, brother, thanks for coming in, man.
yeah,
This
thanks
has
for
been
having
fun.
thanks
Fun
for
getting
having
to
me
learn
in.
more about you
Appreciate
and your
it.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.